It's been exactly 4 years since the launch of the PS5 way back in 2020, followed by hundreds of games, updates, accessories, a PS5 Slim and a more recent PS5 Pro. But the real question still remains, is the PS5 still worth buying even 4 years after its official release date? Well, when the PS5 first dropped, it had a rough start, facing supply chain issues, the chip shortage and, well, the global pandemic, causing the prices to skyrocket, with some buying one for the price of two. But after the first 2 years, around the holiday season in November of 2022, we started seeing the console pop up in shelves. Fast forward to today and you can finally walk into a store and grab one for yourself. With over 40 million units sold and prices getting more reasonable now, I'd say it's still a great time to pick one for yourself. And if you're upgrading from the PS4, you'll notice a world of difference. The PS5 runs incredibly quiet, unlike the PS4, which sounded like an F-35 Lightning about to perform a vertical landing. The new UI is clean, with everything neatly placed and an option for haptic feedback on the menu navigation. 3 years later, we take it for granted just how fast these games load compared to the PS4, showcasing the hard work and dedication from the team over at Sony. Remember the days when game loading screens felt like a mini vacation? Well, I do. Actually, speaking of the PS4, one thing that Sony has outdone themselves is backward compatibility, where PS4 games can also play on the PS5, and most game developers have joined the move by upgrading the resolution and optimizing the gameplay, making sure that PS4 games are not only compatible with the PS5 but also optimized to take full advantage of the PS5's power and the unique features of the DualSense controller. Speaking of which, on the subject of accessories, I absolutely love the PS5's DualSense controller with its haptic feedback that is fully customizable to your liking. So if you don't like flashing lights whenever you're on a cop chase, or you're not a fan of having your hands vibrate whenever you crash on stuff, you can easily customize that in the system settings. A few other accessories that Sony released for the PS5 include the PSVR 2, the upgraded DualSense Edge wireless controller, which is fully customizable to your liking physically in that sense. We also have the Pulse Explore earbuds and the Pulse Elite headsets, which support 3D surround sound technology. We have the PS Portal. We also have a few add-ons like custom plates and covers, and we obviously have an option for some extra storage. Before we move on with game recommendations, if you'd like to support the channel further, feel free to buy me a cup of coffee with the links in the description box down below. I've played a lot of games on the console, and I highly recommend starting off your experience with Astro's Playroom, as it'll give you a feel of the DualSense controller's capabilities. I also highly recommend revisiting old PS4 games like Mafia Definitive Edition, Days Gone, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, and Red Dead Redemption, as they've all been updated with high resolution and they all support the DualSense controller, indeed making them timeless masterpieces. We also have PS5 exclusive games like God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ghost of Tsushima, Ratchet & Clank, Wukong Black Myth, The Last of Us Part 1 and 2, which is actually the only game that's ever made me cry. I absolutely love the Uncharted series. We have Avatar Frontiers of Pandora and Stray, whose stories, gameplays and graphics are simply out of this world. And I personally believe that everyone should play one of these games at least once in their lifetime. We also have a lot of new games on the horizon, like GTA 6, of course, which is speculated to come out anywhere around 2025, or it might even be pushed forward to 2026. Who knows? I'll also be sure to make a video going over all the best games I've played on the PS5, as there are lots of good games to play out there. So let me know some of your top PS5 games in the comment section down below. Speaking of which, the 1TB storage option isn't really enough for most hardcore gamers, with games like GTA 5 and Call of Duty campaigns taking up well over 100 gigs, and the system data alone takes up around 400 gigs. But thanks to the recent updates addressing the issue, we now have an option to increase the storage capacity from a maximum of 2 terabytes before to now a maximum of 8 terabytes. Additional features like the option to mute the boot up sound, the introduction of the PS app on mobile which you can use to manage your subscriptions or get updates, and PS Remote Play which enables you to access and play all your games remotely using an iPad or on the PS Portal. More about gaming on the iPad in future videos. Following the trend set by Microsoft, Sony decided to introduce subscription services way back in 2022, where you have the choice between PS Essential, which gives you access to a few monthly games and multiplayers. PS Extra gives you access to a larger game library, and PS Premium gives you even more benefits including share play and the ability to try out unlimited games before purchasing them. There is not much to complain about the PS5 other than the fact that it's insanely huge, and once you close a game there is no quick resume. You have to start the game over again, and if the game doesn't offer autosave then you lose all your hard-earned progress. We also have the issue with the storage where we have only 600 gigs available to use of the 1 terabyte it comes with, but luckily there is a way around by installing an extra NVMe SSD. I think we're just over halfway in the life cycle of the PS5, as it generally takes 6 to 7 years before the console is updated, and we've already seen a few updates with the release of a PS5 Slim and the PS5 Pro with a detachable disk drive, and that's about it. Everything else other than the size is exactly the same as the PS5. So speculating the future of the PS consoles, aka the PS6, I anticipate further hardware improvements and the evolution of gaming technologies following the introduction of VR headsets and AI. After the first time I powered on my PS5, I've never touched the power off button ever again. I just keep it on standby mode, showing exactly how I absolutely love it. If you're upgrading from the PS4, it's absolutely worth it, as you get increased graphic performance, games run as smooth as possible as long as you have the monitor with the required specs, and the boot up time is significantly shorter, offering a vast gaming ecosystem. We also have a huge library of games to go along with it. Also, the PS5 isn't for everyone, especially if you're the type of person who likes installing mods and other packages. Then I suggest you stick with desktop gaming. So, do you own a PS5? If not, what are you waiting for? A PS6 or Jesus? Let me know in the comment section down below. Have a great weekend and stay tight.